Hello everyone, so today we are finally coming to the end of the year, which means it is time to go through my whole year of makeup favorites. And I'm doing that like cutesy thing where I'm doing 16 favorites of 2016. Actually, I'm not doing that because I have way more than 16 favorites for the entire year. I'm actually splitting them up 16 purely just makeup things, and then 16 hair and skincare things, which will be the next video. So buckle up kids, this is going to be a very long video, very chatty, gonna go as in-depth as I feel like chatting with you today, and I will have everything linked up down below. I will have a blog post with more information, and in that blog post I'll also link to any reviews of these products that I've done. That's how serious we're getting. Let's get started digging through this big giant bag of makeup toys. So we're going to start off with makeup application, and I have two different favorites here. Technically these like are three, but we're just gonna count them in one. I have Sigma brushes and the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Dome Sponge Diamond? Okay. So I just started using Sigma brushes this year, and I had held out for a really long time until they chose to send them to me because, I don't know, I just didn't know if the hype would be worth it, and it definitely is. These Sigma brushes are just so very good. I have a few of the eye brushes that I do also really love, but I talked about those in my packing for Christmas video, so these are more of the face brushes that I really love from Sigma. First is the 3D HD Kabuki brush, which as you can see is kind of like triangular shape, so you can really like get in like creases, you know, creases in your face, or like whatever, your jawbone. If you wanted to use this for contouring, that would also be really good because it would blend it at the same time. And it really just gives you a super high coverage because it's so densely packed. Like, it is just crazy densely packed. So if you use like a ton of foundation, you are going to look like you've done like the 100 foundation layers challenge thing. So don't do that. Light layers, just apply a little bit, buff it in, and this is just a really nice brush to do it with. The two other brushes that I've been loving from Sigma are the Sigma Precision Flat Angled Brush and the Soft Blend Concealer Brush. So I actually use these not necessarily for what they're meant to. I use this flat top angle brush really for like concealer and for under eye, so I can really get it into like the little nooks and crannies. I really like that it's angled. I've never used like angled concealer brushes before, but I find that it's actually really nice. It's not the same where you'd get like a really good blend like if you were using a blending eyeshadow brush for it, but you can pack on color really heavily, which is kind of what I need to do in like my inner corner and in through my crease area, and it's good for around the nose as well. And then we have the Soft Blend Concealer Brush, which I use more for like highlighter. Sometimes I'll use it for blush, and then I will use it to like blend out concealer if I've gone kind of heavy with it, or if I'm going to like bake my face and do that thing where you like put a ton of powder on and then you have to like flick it off. This is the brush that I go for. And then makeup sponges. I've just really gotten into makeup sponges this year. I used to really not like them because I grossed myself out by telling myself that they were like too gross and bacteria and they're nasty and you shouldn't use them. And then I just like realized if you wash them every time, then they're not that gross. So I have a fresh, clean, beautiful diamond sponge from Real Techniques, which is just so cool. Who has used one of these? Because they're just really cool. You can like really get into like your under eye area or around your nose with like the tip part here. You can put on foundation with the side or any of these sides. It's just really like cool. I haven't seen a diamond sponge before this one, and I'm a fan. Foundation favorite of the year is the CoverGirl Clean Sensitive Foundation. I found this over the summer, I want to say in June or July, and I have been obsessed with it ever since. The one big thing that I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a pump, which makes it like just a daredevil show every time you try to use it. I always end up pouring out way too much foundation, and it's just like a huge mess. You have to kind of like clean it up with tissues because you don't really want to put it back in there because it's going to be like bacteria and contaminated and blah. But I will link down below to a review I did of this because I just love it so much, and I've talked like to death about this foundation, so I won't bore you anymore, but it has a really clean, dewy, skin-like finish, and I've just been loving it. Concealer is kind of like a surprise contender, and it is the Stowaway Cosmetics Concealer. I don't know why, I just really like this. I've said before, I'm not like a huge fan of the Stowaway gimmick of making just really tiny size makeup for full price. It's beyond me. They should make the price significantly lower for how much product you're actually getting. But concealer is the one product that I would say is actually worth it because it's so highly pigmented and it has just like a really nice finish. It doesn't really crease on me. I really struggle with creasing in the under eye area. I can use it on my under eyes, on blemishes, around my nose. It's just really just a good all-rounder concealer. And finishing up on kind of like face products, I have the Kevyn Aucoin the Neo Bronzer in the shade Sienna Warm Coral, and have you seen how beautiful this is? This has just been my favorite thing ever because it has a gorgeous, gorgeous bronzer on this side which you can use for like warming up your face, and it is a nice kind of corally reddish tone to it, so it doesn't look like super fake and orangey. It's not too sparkly, but it isn't matte either. So you get like a little bit of warmth to it, a little bit of like, not shimmer, but it's kind of like the ambient lighting powders and blushes, you know, but in like a nice darker bronzer color. Then it has the blush that I've been using all the time because it's like the perfect coral blush of all time, and also their Candlelight highlighter, which is just a really beautiful, subtle candlelight highlighter. I don't know how else to describe it. Altogether, this palette is beautiful. I will link up the review below because I don't want to sit here and just lose my little mind about it, but it is well worth the price in my opinion. So now we are going to move into eyes, and the first thing I have are the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows. Here I just have one little guy to show you. This is Legend. It is the perfect copper shade. It is honest to God the best copper I've ever seen in my life. The Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows are so beautiful. Like, you just swipe one little whisper of a touch across the pan and you just get so much pigment. You can work a ton of pigment over your eye. You don't have to work as much pigment if you use like a nice fluffy brush. If you put a little bit of like, I use eye drops because I don't like putting just like straight tap water into my eyeshadows, but if you wet it down a little bit, it makes just like gorgeous molten copper shade. So beautiful. If you haven't tried any of the Makeup Geek foiled shadows and you really like eyeshadow, you definitely need to give them a shot. For Makeup Geek, I have their reformulated blushes slash bronzer contour powders. I've really just been a big fan of these. They're just really highly pigmented, but not in a way that if you like apply, like jam your brush in there and apply it, you're gonna be like way too much pigment. It's nice, it's easy to blend, they're super cheap, and the color range that they have is just really fantastic. Especially for the bronzer slash contour powders, they have literally warm and cool for light, medium, warm, and deep, whatever. They have just tons and tons of different colors. No matter what kind of effect you're looking for your contour or for your blush, they've got you covered. Now I have two eyeliner favorites, and both of these are liquid liners, but they're different enough that I wanted to put both of them in. We'll start first with the super cheapy. It is the H&M Aqua Liquid Liners, and oh my god, I have just been obsessed, especially with this one, which is the copper shade. They don't show it online anymore, but I did purchase this in stores, so I would check out your H&M stores in their new beauty section, see if you can find this particular copper shade, because it's fantastic. Otherwise, the rest of the range, the colors aren't like wowing in any kind of way. This copper one was the only one that was really like stood out to me, and I just love them. I'll do a little close-up for you so you can see like how the brushes look, and I'll compare the two, you know, so you can see the difference. But the formula for this, you do have to like shake it up so you can get all the metallic stuff kind of mixed around in the formula, and then you paint it onto your eye. It's super crisp. I've yet to like kind of screw it up or like get little like, you know when you kind of like do this, or like the brush, if it's like an actual like brush where it has individual hairs and you'll kind of accidentally have one go haywire and just put liner all over the place. I've never had that issue with these liners, and they last all day long. It's out of this world. Then for a slightly pricier liner, I have the Urban Decay Razor Sharp liners. The brush on this is very different. This is very, very thin, very small, and it's not, okay, nail art striping brushes, how they're really, really long, and I just find them to be totally unwieldy. I've never been able to use striping brushes because they're so long that I'll end up like doing whatever, not straight lines on my nails, but these are kind of similar except for they're nice and short. It's really short bristles and they're super flexible. So if you're someone who has a really hard time lining their eyes with liquid liner, I think this would be a really good choice for like a first nice liquid liner to use. You can really, really, really get close to the lashes because it's such a skinny little brush, and you can make really nice defined points without having to go back with like an eye makeup remover. Last thing for eyes, I have the NYX Glitter Primer, and I know I am like the biggest fan of the Urban Decay Primer Potion of all time, but if you have a really stubborn eyeshadow and you just can't get the pigment to stick to your eyes, you need to try using the glitter primer. Well, not for whatever reason, it's meant to stick glitter to your eye. This is super sticky, So if you have like a really chalky matte or something where it's a beautiful color but you can't get it to really apply to your eyes, try using this as a base because it literally, it's like glue. It'll stick it to your eyes, but it's not uncomfortable and it's not like a gluey, tacky texture. And then I'm sure it'll come as not that big of a surprise, but all of the rest of my favorites are for lips. So I'm gonna start off with like my two hydrating favorites. The first one is the Lipstick Queen Bee lip treatment. First try, got that. Real proud. This is just like a gorgeous bronzy gold flecked lip treatment. It's super hydrating and it smells absolutely amazing. Like it smells really good. So you can just like put it on like a lipstick, but it's really, really hydrating. So it's good if you kind of don't like a big bold lip look, which you know that I do. But if I'm going for days that I don't really want my lips to be the center of attention, I'll usually wear this because it makes my lips look nice and plump and they stay nice and hydrated and just look so good. And then for like more of a glossy option, I have the Instant Light Natural Lip Perfectors from Clarins in a variety of different colors because all of them are just really great. They have like this beautiful fuzzy little top to them and they're a squeezy tube. I don't know why it is that I like having lip gloss in a squeezy tube so much, but it's really satisfying to be able to like push it and see it come out the little fuzzy nib guy and be able to use it on your lips. If you've used the Too Faced melted lipsticks, after a while they start to get a little bit gummy and they don't like to come out through the applicator. I've been using these for months on end and I've yet to get to that problem, and I just think that is the perfect lip gloss, squeezy tube, fuzzy applicator like combination. It is just perfect. Also from Clarins, I have their Jolie Rouge lipsticks, which I will link another review onto these guys below. But they are just beautiful. They're really like creamy, nice and light and glossy kind of lipsticks. So they're not the kind of like matte that you're gonna stay around all day, but they are just beautiful, hydrating, kind of springtime lipsticks, I would say. Maybe more springy than how I like to wear my winter matte lips. But if you're into like the winter matte lip, I have got the matte lip for you. It is the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipsticks, and specifically in the shade Girl Gang. It's not the color that I'm wearing on my lips today, although it is quite close. I'm wearing Kat Von D Bauhaus on my lips, but this is just a little bit more purple. And I feel like a broken record. I'm gonna link down to a review of this, but I have just been such a fan of the Always On Liquid Lipsticks because they stay on really well. They don't claim to have like ridiculous long 12-hour wear or something like that. I think they only claim to 8 hours, which I would say they definitely get to. And they're just really easy to use. The applicator fits like perfectly. You can draw nice sharp lines, and the formula is nice and comfortable for being more of like a thicker, painty kind of matte lipstick. Altogether, if you were looking for like tons of pigment, good wear time, easy to put on, like a good matte lipstick, liquid lipstick for maybe noobs, you know? For someone who's not like super comfortable with matte liquid lipsticks, they're really good choices to like start from. And final two are like my ultra luxurious products to put onto this list. First, I have the YSL Tint in Oil, and this is in the shade number 6. This is my go-to lip product if I'm like leaving the house and I'm not really sure what I'm doing, or if I'm like going to the grocery store or going and doing something boring and I want to feel like nice and good. I would wear this product because it starts off nice and glossy and you look like you have nice like plump glossy lips, and then it dries down to like a really pretty stain. It's just a little bit more pigmented than my lips actually are, so it evens out the color and then it just makes a really nice shape because you can really be precise with this super like triangular shaped doe foot. And last is the Orbe Lip Lust in the Violet. This has just been my winter lipstick of choice. It is so beautiful. It is like you're very much so more adult, like older sister to Rimmel 107, you know? Very similar. But instead of it having like a really harsh matte texture to it, it's really creamy and it's kind of gel-like. So you can put it on nice and easy, blot it down, put it on again is how I tend to do it, so you get a nice rich color, and then as it wears off you have a really pretty stain left behind. So it's not one that I don't take it out with me because it is, you know, a nice luxury lipstick, but it is something that'll stick around with you all day. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my makeup favorites of 2016. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!